And the Venus is not afflicted, it's up in the 9th house by itself. So she could see things of what's beautiful. Other people would want to get paid well for that, but being paid well for what she understands, 9th house, how she understands her thinking, Moon in Aquarius, her Mercury and Cancer in the 7th house, astrology book about relationships and the rights and wrongs of it. If she ever wrote something like that, her enthusiasm would be that people would respect her ideas, and she'd have a position where she's counseling and being in a meaningful relationship to everyone she meets. Now the Mercury, the midheaven, it's opposed by Saturn. So she gets oppressed by authority or by responsibility. She's motivated by it. She's motivated to do things. Responsibilities come in and she has to take care of those too. And see, by the time she's doing all, she's tired of doing this. She doesn't want to be that serious. She wants to have more fun and appreciation. So she doesn't want just a straight job. She wants to have something more deep. But more deep doesn't mean she'll make enough money right away. So she'll hold the straight job and phase in her astrology career until it gets there. But being good enough and knowing it well enough to be able to write something about this and having a work out there that she did, wow, she would revel. That would be her. That would be better than a degree. That would be her award of honor, her point of respect. And with the midheaven square Jupiter, her ability to do this is very good. She just has to get past. Probably, if I think of writing a book, it takes too long. It's a big commitment, Saturn to Mercury. But if you've gotten into the discipline of writing a little bit every day, so even though she's translating, she has her own content to say. So getting her content so other people are talking to her about what she knows, wow, that would be great. But how are other people going to know what she knows until she's written about it? Challenge is there. And relationships will cause puzzles that may want her to do what they're saying and not what she wants to write. There could be chuckles around that. Don't know. But a lot would be bad if she was with someone encouraged her writing, or she got writing done, which is good, she could attract someone who would encourage her writing. That would be really supportive. The weaker side of it was be marry someone that's a writer or that's doing these things so you can be doing everything to support them. But I don't think it's that. I think she has things to prove for herself. And the descendant, her relationships, is ruled by Mercury. So I don't put when I do the basic chart, I don't draw the aspects to the angles because I want to see the pattern type exactly. But when I do, I take a copy of the chart and I draw the aspects to the angles on it. You can do it in your mind, but it's nice to have it to work out. So when I'm doing the classes, I'm showing you. But I took the chart, copied it, and put just the aspects to the ascendant on. These are ones you wouldn't see first looking at the chart. It's too much all at once. You got to sift through one thing at a time, and then it begins to fall into place. Her descendant is trine her moon, is trine her Mars. Wow, her ability to adjust to other people and be spontaneous, but what needs to be done is very spontaneous. But her descendant, it's ruled by Mercury, which again, the communication, sharing ideas, talking, counseling, writing, translating, all really useful. But it's squared by Pluto and Uranus. There's confronting realities about what's right or wrong. But being in Canada, Chinese, getting a career. Well, in the big cities, that wouldn't be too hard. But there still would be challenge around having to prove oneself. Finding a partner. And how do you meet people cross-culturally in our society? In the Hoser mentality or the Canadian mentality is going to be harder to find. There'll be challenges about what's right or wrong around relationships. And even though Uranus squares the descendant and Pluto squares and it squares the ascendant as well, it means there'll be challenges around relationships, shocking, unstable, challenging relationships. But the relationships are Gemini ruled by Mercury in the 7th house. It affects her thinking, it affects the whole functioning in her chart. So it's an interesting puzzle. So not only, just looking a little bit, not only is Gemini on the 7th house cusp, it also rules the 6th house of the work she should do. writing, communication, ruled by Mercury. And her understanding is Virgo, ruled by Mercury, what's right and what's wrong, for which she has the fights. But these, you just weave more and more connections in. How we do it? Okay, so I'm just working through each of the people's charts in the class, and then we're going to do 3 famous charts at the end. But so we're not getting exact feedback. We're just studying the chart, seeing the story, trying to make this chart come alive. Okay, so you can see in her 12th house, in her 8th, let's take a look at her 8th house. Her 8th house, Cancer, is on the cusp, ruled by the moon. Her 8th house of trust and understanding and of sharing and of joint business of other people's resources. Her sun's there, that's confident, that's strong. Her Jupiter's there, that's lucky. That's the main thing, being able to meet the right person, make the right connections, do good business. There it is, it's just seize it. Okay, putting up with the relatives or the in-laws, the Pluto to the descendant, Uranus to the descendant, well, that may be a bigger problem. Or fighting with the philosophy or understanding of the partner. But it's ruled by Cancer. And Leo is completely within that house. It's called intercepted within this house. So she has the Cancer rulership, the moon in Aquarius, over in the 2nd house and needing to have money. I need to have my own money. I need to feel secure. I need to be listened to. I need to be able to turn my hobbies into a career. I need to make money. And the Cancer is right there making, the sun is right there making this a very strong 8th house. I need security. I need to find, this really is the accountant's secure, but it could be the psychologist, the ability to be sensitively working with other people's problems. But normally it's going to be the straight business. I got to do this as a conservative. The first half of her life will be tied up to doing, I'll be the accountant, I'll do practical business, I'll do things. How do I switch it? Okay, how do I make it good? But the moon is there and the sun, Leo, I tend to add the two. If something's intercepted like this, I don't say it's lost, it's not there. I add it. So she's Cancer there, it's ruled by the moon, and it's ruled by the sun, which happens to be in Cancer in that 8th house. So her ability to work with other people and to share money and to do business, it's really strong. You know, and she's generally lucky at that. So being able to find someone to be with, to work with, to do things together, put resources together, she can usually attract that. But once it's attracted and someone gets to know personally, she's much more serious. Not exactly always accommodating, trying to do so many things and serious about them. But the sun rules that, it's in the 8th house. The moon rules that in the 2nd house of having it, I have to carry this, I have a need to make sure I have enough money and to carry my half of whatever. You get the sense she could work too hard for other people in a relationship, but she could meet someone who has a lot of things, but expects a lot from it. And there could be the battle and the understanding. When you have an intercepted house, the same in the moon's in Aquarius, Capricorn rules the 2nd house of serious about money, but Aquarius is also serious, but the moon's there, it's in Aquarius, it's still predominantly there in Aquarius, so both of these are ruled by Saturn. And the 2nd house has the Capricorn ruling the 2nd house, Aquarius in there with Saturn. Saturn rules that whole 2nd house, and the Saturn's right on the IC. She's motivated to have enough money to be secure. So it changes from father to home to authority to being motivated to be responsible. Her ascendant is Sagittarius of understanding. I understand, I see where this is going, but her Jupiter's in the 12th house. Her Sagittarius is also in the 12th house. So whenever there's one intercepted, somewhere else there's 2 signs in one house. Just as she had Gemini in the 6th house, working with ideas and communicating, and then the Mercury in the 7th. Here, the Jupiter, no bad aspects to Jupiter. Jupiter has the opposition to the moon. That's the only difficult aspect. But Jupiter rules the 12th house and the 1st house. So she identifies to shared opportunities. We could do this together. This could be a winning situation. And the Sag in the 12th house, yeah, she's going to see, we can do this, but she tends to exaggerate a bit about the importance of it or expect what it's going to lead to being bigger than it should be, and she can get isolated by her own exaggerations in the 12th house, her own understanding. She sees where it's going towards it too fast, and other people can see that and take advantage of her for it. So her understanding has challenges. It's not always heard. Being Chinese in Canada, well, now it's much more commonplace thing, a little more challenging 10, 15 years ago. Changing, the world's changing. But you just can see these double signs, a double influence, because it's a 12th, there's a bit of a shadow on the understanding. And the Jupiter's opposing the moon, so it implies there's some misunderstandings around home and family. Does she have to send money back home to family? Are they expecting it? Or is she getting money from home? Or what? Like all of these things come up. Now, at this point, the tendency is we want to put this all together and judge everything. It doesn't have to be put all together. All these pieces are there. This is who she is. Now, when you start to watch transits going around it, or progressions going around it, you'll start to see when things get triggered off in the phases, and when they're being triggered off, then it's important to go back and understand this nerve and how it's connected around the chart. So we've pretty much, trying to think what else is here. That's pretty much what I wanted to say, because we did this, we did that, we've done the personal planets. We talked on the Saturn on the IC. We talked about the Jupiter in Leo, accentuating the pride, enthusiasm of the sun. But it's in the 8th house. It's lucky around getting money, around attracting someone who has things, but understanding how to align. It's the Uranus-Pluto in the 9th house, squaring the descendant and the ascendant. That is the big challenge. And you don't see that right away at the chart. You see that when you get to the angles. And that implies that Uranus and Pluto are in the 9th house of understanding, but it's also the 3rd house from the descendant. It's also the partner's relatives. So she could be in a good marriage that's working along, but her partner is being advised by his brothers and sisters, by her mother-in-law, by his mom, trying to advise what to do in ways that aren't in her best interest.